Hey, what did the fish say when it hit a wall? Damn! That's true. I saw the goddamn thing. I was looking down and the fish going bam, right in the shit.
Oh, look at me, just swimming around in my little world. Wait, what's that? A wall? I guess I should turn around, right? Nope, just gonna keep swimming straight into it. Damn, that was unexpected. Why is this tank so small? I just want to explore, but I keep hitting this wall. Maybe if I swim faster, I can break through? Nope. Still here, just me and this wall. If only I could find a way out.
Anyway, where am I going with this stupid thing? What I wanted to do is tell you about some adventures with fishing that I thought were kind of funny. When I was going to First Assembly in Lufkin back in the 70s, me and a buddy of mine, I was like a teacher of a Royal Rangers group. It's kind of like Boy Scouts for church kids, if you don't know what it is. And I had this Royal Rangers group. They were like middle school age, and we were going to take them fishing one day, take them down to the lake. So he and I got in our cars and loaded these boys up and drove down to the lake. And they had a lot of fun. We did too. All had fun. We did too. We had a lot of fun down there. But then these boys comes up and a couple of them says, "Hey, come look at this, Commander." That's what they called us, you know. All right. So I went over there. Holy shit. One of these kids was the pastor's kid. And he and two other people had found a waddly, soft, sandy spot on the bank and had wiggled themselves down into that damn sand to their neck. Scared the fuck out of me, man. Something happened to that kid. I'd never live that down. Nope. Shit, get out of there, kid. Well, you probably didn't think it was funny. I didn't really think it was funny at the time, but humorous, I guess. There was one time that was funny. My brother's friend Dickie had this big bass boat, great big bass boat. Had a big old huge engine on the back of it. And he used to get out on Lake Rayburn and just fly that thing right across the lake. And there was one day he wanted to come into the shore, and along the bank about 10, 12 feet out to about 40 feet were a bunch of lilies, water lilies, just all the way across, and across those water lilies with his engine down, he'd get those, in his prop. So he decided he was going to avoid that problem. He went way out in the lake, and he put the throttle down on that boat, and he didn't pull the throttle up until he crossed those water lilies. Shit. That boat hit that bank, and it went up that bank, and it kept sliding up that bank, and he stopped about that far from a tree.
There I am, cruising across the lake in my motorboat. The sun is shining, and the water sparkles like diamonds. I can feel the wind in my hair, and it feels amazing. As I approach the bank, I push the throttle. The boat glides smoothly towards the shore. I don't stop at the bank. Oh shit, I almost hit a tree.
And it was good 30 feet from the bank. He hadn't shut it off, and he was going way too damn fast. Yeah. Yeah, there was a time we used to fish up. I told you about fishing up in Arkansas at St. Jean's Pond, that big old Womack. They call it Womack Lake, I guess. And we always were fishing around there on the far side. And my grandma used a cane pole that was a good 10 foot long, at least, maybe longer than that, with a long string on it. And she would just swirl it around and throw that line out there. When she got a bite, she would jerk that bitch. Whoosh, and you knew not to walk behind her because my cousin did. When she hit him upside the head with a great big sun perch and knocked him flat of his ass. She did. That was funny. Yep. At the time, my brother probably didn't think it was very goddamn funny, but when you look back, it was funny. This episode happened to him. He had a boat. He had I think this was the 12-foot semi V-bottom boat. And he'd been working on this old motor on the back of that boat. And it had drifted out into the lake. And he worked on it, couldn't get it to crank, kept jerking on it, couldn't get it to crank, and all of a sudden the damn thing caught on fire, the whole motor. He said, oh shit. So he went up, started towards the front of the boat, and somebody from the bank noticed that there's fire in the gas can in the boat. See, I told a story about picking the gas can up. If you're listening to my videos, then. But the fire was in the gas can in the boat. Shit. So he grabbed that gas can and flung it out in the lake. Well, you want to guess what happened then, right? He flung gasoline all over the top of the lake, so the whole goddamn lake was on fire. He was in a boat with the motor on fire right in the middle of it. So he grabbed a paddle and got right in the front of the nose of that little boat and paddled it over to the bank. And the fire was everywhere, and they were just so brilliant here. They grabbed that little boat and turned it upside down to put the fire out on that motor. Well, they put the fire out on the motor, all right. They dumped a couple of $100 worth of tackle in the bottom of the lake, and they never could recover. Yeah. Sad. Oh, I thought there was another one here. Let's see. I know there was. Well, there was that same boat, I think. Maybe it was the flat bottom. My brother-in-law, he was such a brilliant egg. He got in it, and then we had to take it around to the boat ramp to get it up on the trailer. So it pushed him out in the lake, and he's sitting in the back of it, so all the weight's right on the back end of this boat. And the front end's up pretty good, as it is. And he comes around the bend a little bit, and the wind is blowing, and it flips him right upside down in the lake. God damn. 8 minutes and 57 cents. 57 cents. Oops. Bye.